Streets say apparently that your frontal lobe develops by 25. I'm 22. It could be actually earlier. Maybe it's chat. Is it earlier than that? One can say that I'm in my 20s. At 20, I was very much at the end of my teens. I was a child, Oliver Twist. One of my friends a couple weeks ago, she said something like, oh yeah, once you get to like 22, 23, those are serious years. As in like, you don't get to play around. You don't get to have mistakes the same way you did when you were 15. Obviously, 22 and 15 are very, very different ages. At this age, people will be getting married, having mortgages, and here I am trying to finish up the recent season of Arcane. I don't want to put any expectations on 2022. Like, I don't want to. I keep saying 2022. You know I mean 22. Editing Tessie, fix that. Thank you very much. I don't want to put any expectations on it. I very much want to see how life goes and just enjoy. Like, I am 3 years away from 25, but yeah, I'm 8 years away from 30. Now, I'm not going to focus on that because if I do, I'm going to go crazy just because I feel like life is moving quickly, but at the same time, I'm enjoying life. I think where I am now is a lot different to where I was like 5 years ago. And I think that 16 to 19-year-old Tessie would be so grateful that she's living in what she's living in now. As in, I have friends that I care about and they care about me. I have my amazing mother. And I think 21 was definitely a time of reflection. I started journaling. I started my photo album. I started documenting more, especially on TikTok, social media in general. And I think 21 was a time where I felt that I was more than just a passenger on a continuous train journey. Like, I actually felt like I could make a couple stops along the way and it wouldn't make that much of a difference. Even right now, I'm currently in one of the biggest stops. I graduated in July and I was supposed to start my post-grad law school thingamabob in September of 2024, but I delayed that until March. I'm so grateful that I did that because I got to experience seasons of stillness, seasons of change. And I think as well that I'm learning that it's okay to make stops along the way. Like, you don't always have to continuously going at the same momentum. And if you do see some dips occasionally, that is fine because that's part of the reflection, that's part of the journey. And I think I'm trying to fall in love more with the process as opposed to just the position. Yes, it'd be so sick to qualify as a lawyer. Yes, it'd be so sick to do this and do that. But I think the periods as to when I don't know what's happening, the periods where I have to go reassess my plan, the periods where I'm just like reflecting, learning, doing this is really good for me because at the end of the day, it's like I don't want to get to my dream life, my dream goal, and then it'll feel very much hazy as to how I got there, or I'll have a lot of regret or resentment towards myself because of how I treated myself. You know, it's so good to be kinder toward yourself. And I think that's a thing that I want to implement in 22. From what I've been seeing, reading, and what I understand is that whatever you do right now in your 20s, that has a massive impact as to who you are in your 30s, your 40s, and so forth. And from what I'm getting from people who are at that age, life doesn't get better. And I don't know if because we as people have allowed ourselves to accept misery or just to accept that things are the way that they are. And I do acknowledge that, you know, society is structured in a way that is against certain individuals. There are certain practices in play or even certain regimes that kind of stop us from living in our dreams. But I don't want to get to a place in my life where I stop dreaming because I'm getting old or I'm getting older. Like, I want it to be a thing. Like, why is it so crazy that at like 30 or 40 you can start a new life for yourself? Like, why is it so crazy for people to like have dreams and just want to go toward them? I feel like the pendulum for society has kind of gone too close towards realistic and logical, you know, sensible. And we need to go back to our dreams, our mystical realities. Like, we need to be it needs to be in a time where people can just dream dreams, and that's okay. The thing that I want to instill for 22, and one thing I want to make sure I'm instilling for 32, 42, 52 is to never stop dreaming. I think once you do, life becomes very bleak and mundane, and like, I don't want to feel like I'm trapped. Like, I think that's one of my greatest fears in general. I thought, since I'm in a new year, let me ask myself some questions and reflect, and you guys get to reflect with me. The first one being, what is a lesson that you're learning right now? Right now, I'm learning about enjoying the stillness, enjoying the slow period, enjoying the winter season of life. And I don't mean like winter arc as in like bulking, cutting, going to the, oh no. I mean very much like times where there isn't much excitement, times where you're just kind of like waiting for the next period. What's a lesson that I want to learn at 22 or during this year? I think I want to learn a lot more about letting go and just being a lot more chill. Like, I am very type A, very much in a position of, yes, trying to look at my 20s as a time for implementing my habits, implementing the micro things that are going to get me to where I need to get to later on. But I'm also in a period where I'm just trying to focus on the fact that I'm 22 right now, and I have the rest of my life to be thinking about how I can be when I'm 30 or 40 or 50. Like, I don't want to be in a position where I'm neglecting the present because I'm too fixated on the past, or I'm too focused on how my future will be, because therefore I'll be neglecting my present. As I said, there are definitely things to be learned from the past. That's how we reflect. That's how we develop our process. That's how we evaluate. And there is so much beauty in looking towards the future. That's how we make our goals. That's how we find the roses within the thorns of our present. I think that the present is so neglected, and that's why I'm trying to focus on like the fact that I'm 22. I'm just enjoying my life here, young, and yes, that may be naive, but I think we need more naivety in our world. I'm just hoping that it's only up from here, and I'm gonna try and put a reminder to reflect back on this video maybe in 6 months time, and maybe in a year's time, just to see what has changed or what has stayed the same. This hair though, this hair, she's staying. Here's to 22. Here's to a new year. Here is to embracing the present. Here is to looking towards the future. Here is to reflecting on the past, but here's also to remembering that it's one step at a time. I only get to be 22 once in my life for 365 days. So let's just embrace that. Let's not try and like make it some kind of challenge or make it into some kind of thing for later on. And yeah.
Yeah, hey, summer is over, don't mean that we over. I'm telling the truth right now, I'm going in the moment. You tell me come over, I'm putting my babe, I'm putting